Stop clapping, stop cheering, stop wasting your energy glorifying people who already made it. Look at yourself, sitting in the crowd applauding someone else's victory, while deep inside you know you could have been the one on that stage. That burns, doesn't it? You clap because you admire them, but at the same time you betray yourself. Every round of applause is a reminder that you're not there yet, and that truth hurts more than anything. The world doesn't need more cheerleaders, it needs more winners. The crowd will never remember who screamed the loudest in support, but they'll never forget the one who stood under the lights, holding the trophy, proving that discipline, sacrifice, and obsession win every single time. So stop sitting in the audience of life, stop bowing your head, idolizing people who are no different from you. Winners don't have superpowers, they simply refuse to waste their lives clapping. They decided to fight, bleed, and rise. The next time you're tempted to applaud, ask yourself one thing: why am I not on that stage? Because the truth is, you could be, if you stopped watching and started doing. Most people live their entire lives in the shadows of others, clapping for achievements they secretly wish they had. They scroll through their phones, watching highlight reels of other people's victories, filling the silence of their own unfulfilled dreams with empty admiration. They go to stadiums, arenas, concerts, and stages, screaming the names of strangers while their own name remains forgotten, buried under years of wasted time. It's comfortable to cheer because cheering requires nothing. It costs you no energy, no discipline, no risk. It's easy to say, wow, they're amazing, instead of asking, why not me? Being a spectator means you never fail, you never get judged, you never risk being embarrassed. But it also means you'll never win. You'll never taste that fire of glory, that moment of triumph, because you chose to sit down and applaud instead of standing up and fighting. The truth is, every single competitor you look up to was once sitting exactly where you are right now. They were not born with trophies in their hands or medals on their chest. They were not handed greatness. They clawed their way to it because they refused to settle for watching. They saw people clapping for others and thought, I want to be clapped for, not the one clapping. That simple mindset shift changed their entire existence. The day you stop being a fan and start being a contender is the day your life actually begins. Every arena, every field, every business, every dream has two types of people, the watchers and the doers. The watchers waste energy idolizing, the doers burn energy building. The world rewards those who enter the arena, who dare to be criticized, who risk everything to carve their place in history. Spectators live with regret, while competitors live with scars, and the difference between the two is monumental. Regret eats you from the inside. It's the heavy silence when you realize years have passed and you have nothing to show for it except a collection of memories of other people's wins. Scars, on the other hand, tell a story of battles fought, lessons learned, and strength gained. Scars are proof that you tried, that you pushed yourself beyond comfort, that you stood in the fire while others sat comfortably in the cold, clapping. When you decide to compete, you trade safety for growth, applause for experience, and comfort for progress. Yes, you'll get hit. Yes, you'll stumble. Yes, people will laugh at you. But eventually, those same people who doubted you will be the ones clapping when you win, because nothing commands respect more than someone who is willing to step out of the crowd and into the fight. Most spectators don't even realize they're wasting their own potential because society has normalized it. They've been conditioned to believe their role is to admire, not to achieve. From childhood, they're told to look up to athletes, musicians, leaders, entrepreneurs, but they're rarely told they could be one themselves. They're trained to consume, not to create. That's why competition feels so foreign to so many people. They've been brainwashed into thinking greatness is reserved for special people. But the truth is, the so-called special ones are just the few who decided to stop watching and start moving. The ones who took the leap, who embraced failure, who trained when others slept, who studied when others partied. The competitor's mindset is not about being extraordinary from birth. It's about choosing every day to do what ordinary people won't. It's about refusing to let life pass by while you sit in the stands. The competitor wakes up with fire, not because life handed them an easy path, but because they built that fire brick by brick, habit by habit. They don't settle for clapping because they know the energy spent admiring could have been used advancing. Every second you waste praising someone else is a second you could have spent investing in yourself. The competitor channels that energy inward, turning admiration into fuel into obsession. They watch winners, but not with blind admiration. They study them, break down their moves, learn their discipline, then apply it relentlessly to their own life. That's the difference. Spectators watch for entertainment, competitors watch for education. One leaves with temporary excitement, the other leaves with permanent growth. The competitor doesn't just want to be inspired, they want to be the source of inspiration. They don't just dream of being cheered for, they demand it through the relentless pursuit of excellence. Success is not some mysterious gift handed down by fate. It is not luck, and it is not talent alone. Success is born out of pain, out of sleepless nights, out of sacrifices no one else is willing to make. People look at winners and only see the glory, the smiles, the spotlight. But what they don't see are the nights of doubt, the mornings when the body begged to stay in bed, the countless times they bled in silence just to move 1 inch forward. Success doesn't happen in public. It happens when no one is watching, when the world is asleep and you are grinding through the pain. Pain is the tuition fee for greatness, and if you aren't willing to pay it, you don't deserve to taste it. The ones you cheer for simply accepted more pain than you were willing to carry. And that's why they stand above you. Discipline is the bridge between desire and reality. Everyone desires success. Everyone desires comfort, wealth, recognition. But only a tiny fraction of people are disciplined enough to do what it takes every single day. Discipline means showing up when you don't feel like it, pushing harder when your body screams to stop, saying no to temptations that pull everyone else down. The world is full of dreamers, but very few doers, because dreaming costs nothing, while discipline costs everything. Discipline is boring, repetitive, exhausting, and that's why it works. It strips away weakness, reshapes you into someone unrecognizable, and slowly builds the foundation winners stand on. Without discipline, your dreams are just fantasies, nice pictures in your head that will never manifest into reality. The competitor doesn't wait for motivation, they weaponize discipline. They train their mind and body to obey a standard so high that quitting becomes impossible, even when everything hurts. Relentless consistency is the secret ingredient most people never master. Anyone can work hard for a week, for a month, even for a year. But winners, they grind for decades. They don't just sprint when it's convenient. They run a marathon every single day, even when no one is clapping. Consistency is what separates amateurs from professionals, spectators from champions. The competitor doesn't care about feelings, they care about results. Feelings fluctuate, results don't. If you train when you feel good, you're average. If you train when you feel broken, tired, uninspired, that's when you become unstoppable. Consistency compounds. Every small step, every repeated action, every disciplined choice piles up into a wall no opponent can climb. While others complain about lack of progress, the consistent one keeps stacking bricks until one day they're standing on top of a fortress they built themselves. That fortress is called success, and no shortcuts exist to reach it. Pain, discipline, and consistency are not punishments. They are the tools of transformation. They strip away weakness and carve out strength. Pain breaks the old version of you, discipline molds the new version, and consistency cements it into permanence. Without pain, you stay soft. Without discipline, you stay lazy. Without consistency, you stay average. Every person you admire has walked through that fire. They've embraced loneliness, suffered injuries, faced ridicule, endured setbacks, and still kept going. That's why they stand where they do. The crowd only sees the shine, not the suffering. They clap for the outcome, not realizing the outcome was built brick by brick, tier by tier, sacrifice by sacrifice. If you want what they have, you must be willing to live the life they lived behind the scenes. Not for a week, not for a month, but relentlessly, until the world has no choice but to call you a winner. Most people quit because they mistake temporary discomfort for permanent defeat. They believe pain means stop, when in reality, pain means progress. They believe failure means they aren't good enough, when in reality, failure is proof they're in the game. Success is not about avoiding pain. It's about embracing it, absorbing it, and turning it into fuel. The strongest minds are built in the harshest conditions, and the greatest victories are forged in the darkest struggles. That's why so few ever win, because pain is the filter, discipline is the test, and consistency is the gatekeeper. If you are not willing to go through all three, you'll remain in the crowd, applauding the ones who did. Success belongs to the relentless, to the stubborn, to the ones who simply refuse to give up no matter how heavy the weight becomes, no matter how many times they fall, no matter how long it takes. You've spent enough of your life watching, clapping, admiring. The time has come to step off the sidelines and into the arena. Every second you remain a spectator, you are handing away your own chance at glory. Understand this: the people you cheer for are not superhuman. They simply chose the pain, the discipline, and the consistency that most will never commit to. They decided that comfort was the enemy, that excuses had no place in their lives, and that winning was the only option worth living for. You have that same choice in front of you right now. Either keep wasting your life clapping for others, or rise and demand the life you know you deserve. Stop imagining what it would feel like to win. Go out there and earn the scars, the lessons, and the victories that will one day make others clap for you. Don't let regret be your story. Let your story be one of resilience, of power, of becoming the competitor the crowd will never forget. The moment you decide to stop watching and start doing, you will write the ending of your life. Thank you for listening. Thank you for having the courage to face the truth. I believe in you, but now it's your turn to believe in yourself. God bless you, stay strong, and I'll see you at the top.